Hello. Hi. So excited. Yes, I've come to you in my robe tonight to not leave you hanging that it is day 5. And I know the day is almost over, but I think it's going to be very important that we talk about a few things on this topic. So, as people begin to come on in, if you are coming over from my Instagram, please let everyone know that I am live right now, that I am going to talk about the last day of today, the Lion's Gate. Hello. And I know it's late at night, so I'm so glad that you're here with me. Like I said, I want to apologize for being in my robe, but this is when I get ready to call things down for the night and I'm able to just settle. So I'm so excited that you joined me. I know it's late at night and I know you could be a lot of places right now. So I want to thank you for being here, for being present, for being in this space, in this energy, because a lot is going on. A lot of people are pulling from the energies and a lot of people are just shifting and pulling all of these energies in. Now, as we get ready for, we're at the last day. So as we're at the last day for the Lion's Gate, which is today, I wanted to talk to you about what today is, day 5. So I know I get a lot of people that is constantly on early. It is okay. This message is for those that are ready to receive it. So I'm happy to share it in any type of way. Now, as we talked about the 6-day elevated consciousness, like I mentioned before, the reason why Spirit had guided me to do 6 days was because 6 days reference like a new spiritual reset. So after it wasn't a full reset because 7 is usually completion. So when you do 6, you have the 6th day for the 7th day to be for you to have a reset with your soul and with your spirit, with everything that you resonate with, for you to go back into yourself to see if what I am saying or if these things apply to you. Now, within the 6 days of elevated consciousness, we touched on day 1. So that was when we kind of just uplifted. We reframed the blockages. And as you guys know, I have my notes here. So we reframed the blockages. Everything was new. Everything was completely different. Now, day 2, we open up the blockages through guided meditation. If you did not see it, you need to go back and view it because it's going to be very important to make sure you do that. Day 3, we became the Neo. We become the one. Not necessarily just the one, but we became the new, the fresh, the beginning, the reset, the restart of self, knowing that your body is the first altar. That was one of the most important days, that to realize that you don't have to utilize a lot of spiritual systems as much if you activate your first altar, because the first altar should be activated before any other altar. And then day 4 was communing with the triggers, knowing that the healing was still possible, the healing was still there, the healing was still important. So excuse me, this is my tea to help me stay up tonight, because I'm up for the most of the time, but it's not every night. So day 5, we have becoming the systems and not getting trapped by it. This is talking about how in the 6-day elevated consciousness, we are growing. We are growing and we get caught up in a lot of systems. We want to see what is working and what is not. That's when you begin to test yourself in your spiritual level, because you now have an elevated way of thinking. So you utilize whatever system that you want to utilize, whether it be Hindu, whether it be Buddhism, whether it be African religion, any type of system that you utilize, you realize that it's something that you want to be connected to. So you connect with this system because you feel that something resonates with your spirit. Some of us start off with the basics. Like for me, like I mentioned before previously, I started off with just meditating. And I did not know exactly what I was doing. I did not know what I was trying to cultivate. I just knew that I wanted to meditate. So when you get into an elevated way of thinking, your elevated consciousness, everything grows around you. Your spiritual knowledge grows. Like for me, all of these books from there to there, like that's a ton of books. because I was reading. Those are all books. I was reading and trying to see what worked for me. Why is this important? So I began to read and dive deeper into what I felt like was connected with my spirit and my soul. So literally, elevated consciousness on the fifth day of today, as we close this gate, the gate is getting ready to close. And this is the last day for the porter. The last day. So with the last day of the Lion's Gate, you have a lot of energies that are being pushed away from this energy that is not ready to make the ascension process. And spirit knows, your body knows, your higher self knows if you made the transition. I can guarantee you, if you started from day one, even if you started at day two, you definitely got an upgrade in some type of way if you followed these steps. So day 5, when I talk about it, literally it's about breaking yourself free from the spiritual systems, not getting caught up in spiritual systems, because after you become elevated, you have a new way of thinking, and you want to connect to the fastest route to spirit, because you know that connecting with the fastest route to spirit is the fastest route to yourself. So oftentimes when we get into the spiritual awakening, when we elevate our consciousness, we get totally caught up in how can we get there? What do we need to do? Do we need to practice this? Do we need to do this? So making sure that you don't get caught up in the system, it allows you to still elevate in consciousness. It was once said to me a long time ago, literally by my ancestors, and I had wrote it down in my journal. I wrote it down, and I literally was looking back over it, and it was like the point where you become where you want for nothing is the point when you get everything. Because in our spiritual evolvement, you have to get to a point where you want nothing, that you think about nothing. And literally everything, all the information, all the enlightenment, everything that you need to know will come to you if you want nothing. So it got me thinking again. And I started thinking about when I was at my 0 point. Now, you'll hear a lot of spiritualists talk about this. Spiritualists say, okay, you're at a 0 point. 0 point literally means that you're ready to just receive. You're receiving, you're going through about all of your information, you're giving, you're receiving. You're not really trying to analyze anything. You're not trying to see where anything fits. You literally are just trying to figure it out. So when I got to my 0 point, that is when I realized, okay, well, this is spirit kicking in. This is spirit trying to let me know that I can grow if I continue to stay on the journey of nothingness. If I want nothing, if I don't get too caught up in spiritual systems, if I focus on just the path in general, just the journey, literally just the journey along the path. And when I started to work on that, that was when I realized, so I want you to write this down, that when you begin to be elevated in consciousness, everything changes around you. It is the law of reciprocity. It's the law of correspondence. It is a principle that every single thing changes around you. It doesn't matter what you do, every single thing changes around you. But on your journey, I want you to not get caught up in spiritual systems. Now, we can break the spiritual systems down. We have all of these levels of alchemy. They go from simple magic to basic, to very basic simple magic, to moderate magic, to high magic, to complicated magic, to chaos magic, to all of these different systems of magic, which is literally your body or yourself going through different experiences to see what fits in your life, to see how it works in your life. So all of these spiritual systems are not just here because they're just here. They're here because they're spiritual systems to help you elevate. But in the process of elevating, when you use spiritual systems such as, let's say you work candle magic, when you use spiritual systems such as candle magic, you're using that system to elevate your consciousness, to elevate your experience on this earth, to change circumstances for you on this earth. But at the same time, you can get lost into just performing magic to change your outcome in the physical realm. I had to breathe with that because that is very common. So when you're on day 5 like this and you have the portal that's closing, you have all these things coming and closing, it is a point of revelation. And it's a point where you get all of this information that tells you to just slow down. Slow down. You don't have to get caught up. So day 5 is becoming the consciousness, becoming the Neo, and not getting caught up in the system. Because spiritual systems keep you going, versus allowing you to release and be free So becoming the system, not getting trapped by it, is when you truly know that your soul is at a constant elevation. So your soul can't get trapped in a certain way of doing things because you're at a constant elevation. Your soul is constantly traveling and moving. It can't get caught up. So you have to remind yourself that it's going to be very important for you to make sure that you're going and you're staying connected to the elevated consciousness part. And that is the thoughts, your thoughts, that's your higher self, that's your gut feeling and your emotions that you feel. When you know that you're at a situation or you're in a situation and you know it doesn't feel right, that's your elevated consciousness. When you know that what you're hearing, the person you're listening to, the message you're getting, that's your elevated consciousness. The systems are in place to help you grow spiritually, but the problem is when people get caught up in the systems such as magic, such as divination, such as all of these things, they lose sight of the elevated consciousness. And we've all been there. Trust me, you will get there if you have not gotten there. It's important for you to know the difference between the two, to know that your higher self is leading you on this journey to connect you with certain experiences. And, thank you, Spirit, this is a reminder that some people have to go through certain experiences because some people need those systems to help them elevate. But you should never depend on a system more than you depend on yourself. Ever. You should always know that you are divine. Your Neo, your first altar, is strong enough. And this is why you get out and you connect in nature and you connect in all of these places, because it lets you know. It lets you know what you should be connected to. It also elevates your spirit and elevates your consciousness. So remember, day 5, I know we're at an end. I know it's at a close. That's perfectly fine. Trust me, everything is divine timing. Even if my day was a little bit busier than normal, it's perfectly fine because divine timing is everything. If you had the time to rest and think about things, you need to thank Spirit, because that was a moment for you to just calm down as we're at a close for the Lionsgate. The Lionsgate portal is ended today, which I purposely did the 6th day because I knew the portal was ending on this day. I knew it was ending on the 12th. So I did the 6th day because Spirit was saying, hey, this is what they needed for 6 days. So as we're getting ready to close and Spirit is ending this day in this session, know that the Lionsgate portal was a strong energy that made us identify. It helped us to identify. It helped us to connect to our higher self. Even if we lost sight at one point, now we're back connected. And now we're able to continue our journey with clear direction at an elevated level. But also know while you're working, while you're learning, while you're reading books, while you're connecting with all of these things spiritually, know that systems are in place because they are what? Systems. They're meant to keep something in order. You might begin to grow on your process and learn that you need a spiritual system. Now, that doesn't take away from discipline. So just like Spirit was reminding me just now, some of you need spiritual systems like working in magic, learning how to practice Hinduism, learning how to practice Buddhism, learning how to practice any like African or any type of religion that you want to work in. It doesn't matter. If you are working in that energy, you're learning a spiritual system. But spirit is also saying that your body is going through these different experiences because some people need them. But it's important to not get caught up in the spiritual system, to allow yourself, if you're using the spiritual system, then you need to balance sometime. Maybe you need to balance your chakras. Maybe you need to do Reiki. Maybe you need to meditate. Maybe you need to do some crystal healing. Maybe you need a bath, a sound bath. Whatever the case, you need to balance it out. You have to balance the energies. You can't just say, I'm going to focus on magic and I'm going to cast this spell and cast that spell and cast that spell and not think about yourself, because you have to think about that. So with that being said, I'm so glad that you guys joined me. I know it was late. I'm going to head over to my Instagram channel because I have a lot of things that I want to talk about that I typically don't talk about here on my YouTube channel. If you want to join, please join me on my Instagram channel, and I'm pretty sure one of my wrenches will put the links up for Instagram, and it will be very, very important for you to join over there. I will go into a lot of information about some things that are very, very important. But for my Instagram channel, it is aligned with Ariana, and it is Instagram. Connect with me there. I'm so glad that you connected with me tonight. And like I mentioned before, tonight is all about becoming and not using the system to get you caught up. Pay attention, stay guided. I love you guys. Peace, love, wadu.